Hi ladies, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, this is a channel where I make videos about infertility, IVF, adoption, and everything in our journey so far. And right now we are in the middle of an IVF frozen embryo transfer protocol. So if that is interesting to you, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's jump in. Today I wanted to tell you all about my IVF calendars and what meds I am on, because as you can see by this pile of junk back there, I got my meds delivered yesterday, but I wanted to go over my full calendar because I'm always interested in this, and I feel like people vlog about it and like share, oh, I did this test or I did this ultrasound, but then I'm like, but in what way, like in what order and on what days? So I thought I would just go over it all in one place and share the meds. I literally just dumped the meds out and Sharpied out our personal information and that's it. I have not looked at them, so I am also going to be interested in doing that. But first of all, let's talk about my calendar. All right, so this was June, and as you can see I marked out each X because I love countdowns and knowing how many days until things. And so you can see here that I had my second set of blood work, my recurrent loss. If you watched last week's video, you know that that came out all fine. And then on this day, I had my baseline ultrasound and endometrial scratch, which was not pleasant, but it was done. And I also have written to take a pregnancy test if I hadn't started a cycle, just because you don't want to go do those tests while you're pregnant. But I had started my cycle, so we were all good. For July, it's basically all the same thing. Every day I take my estradiol is the one I have, estradiol. It goes up your queen bee 3 times a day, and then I am on a baby aspirin as well. Then after 2 weeks of that medication, I have another ultrasound to check on lining and how all of that is doing. And then if that's fine, I do another week of those medications, plus maybe these fun ones back here, and then transfers a week after that. And then you continue them all, of course, until your pregnancy test. So after that second ultrasound, I would be cleared to start those. So let's take a look at what those are, and I'm going to shift your view so you can see them. Like I said, we have the estradiol that's 3 times a day and the baby aspirin that's once a day, and those just continue. Okay, then of course everyone's favorite drug, the progesterone. Let's open it up so I can show you just what one of those vials looks like. Cool. You'll have to tell me if you have ever seen this before, but I also got prescribed these lidocaine patches, which I talked to my mother because she used to be a nurse, still is a nurse. I don't know why I said it like that. She's still a nurse. And she said they used to use these in on peds patients, like kids, and it's a patch that numbs up that spot. But I have never heard of anyone using these during IVF, or maybe they were just like too embarrassed or something to say that they did. But you put it on 20-30 minutes before, and then it numbs the area. Very interested to see if these help with the pain. But yeah, my mom says they use them on kids, but they take 20 or 30 minutes. So for adults, they're like, just suck it up, buttercup. But those areas get so sore and battered. I am very interested to see if these work. All right, I also got prescribed these Crenone gels. So this is just another form of progesterone, and I know that now because my insurance threw a hissy fit about having progesterone and these Crenone gels. I guess it also says progesterone gel right on there if I had reading comprehension skills. So my insurance did throw a fit about that, but let's finish this and then I will talk about that. And then my box of medications came with all the good stuff, you know, sterile pads, some gauze, and another Sharps container, which is very helpful because my Sharps container is in fact full. Back up. There we go. Okay, so like I was saying, oh, that's not my face. There we go. Like I was saying, my insurance had issues with filling the progesterone and the Crenone together because they're both progesterone based. So they eventually settled on giving me 16 doses every 30 days of the Crenone at the discounted price for for my insurance, and then the other 14 days out of the 30 I have to pay full price, which is around 30 bucks a dose. But because I ordered these so far in advance of my transfer, I'll actually be on another 30-day cycle by the time I need a refill, because this will get me through like a positive pregnancy test, close, maybe. So that's the only nice part, is I will get my first 30 doses for the really cheap insurance price, and then the rest I will have to pay out of pocket if we need them, which of course is fine, but 30 bucks a day is, that adds up a little quickly. I was like, I thought I had gotten out mostly unscathed, because this whole batch of drugs I think cost us around $200, which is not bad, 0 complaints. But yeah, it got me 30 doses of progesterone, 30 patches, and then 16 of these Crenone gels. So whatever, we'll see. If this transfer fails, I think I won't need any more of these. We'll see. Okay, so 2 questions for you all. Have you ever used these lidocaine patches, and do they work? And second of all, my clinic says I have to wait 2 full weeks after transfer to get a blood test. We all know I'm not making it to that blood test, but I was just curious when your clinic lets you have like an official blood test. Anyway, I think I've babbled for enough. I just wanted to make a quick video like going over my calendar and then my drugs, because if you're in the middle of this, I think that's interesting to see other people's protocols and what they do. I have my friend who's literally doing a transfer 2 days after me. I'll have to see what her protocol is, if she's on everything I am on too. She didn't have to get an endometrial scratch, so I'm interested to see what other differences there are, but she sees a different like person at the practice, so maybe that's all. Anyway, okay, leave a like if you found it helpful. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you next time, ladies. Keep on fighting.